You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, that was a good old case of the Mondays for the Houston Astros today as they went into San Diego and they forgot those bats that they had over the weekend against the Los Angeles Angels, and they did a big fat nothing at the plate all night long as the San Diego Padres pick up a very nice pitcher's duel win tonight over the Houston Astros to kick off the 3-game series this week there in San Diego. Hello and welcome this late night for the Locked On Astros Postcast. Thank you for joining me tonight. I am your host, Michael Connor. If you've not been to this channel before, thanks for stopping by for the first time, whether you're watching this live or recorded later on or on podcast. Do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the Locked On Sports Houston page, and you will be here for all the shows. We have 11 of these left, right? Tonight was game 150 of the season? So, yeah, 11 of these left in the regular season, plus a few postseason games, hopefully a lot of postseason games. You can help this channel, by the way, continue to grow towards the 2,000 number. We're almost there. We're creeping closer. And then, of course, you can always check out the other shows as well. I'll remind you about those here in just a minute as well. But again, thank you for joining us here tonight. The show tonight is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play $5. So, I mean, the theme of the night is they didn't hit. You know, there's not a lot that you can really get deep into. To be honest with you, they're lucky they survived and only lost by 2 tonight. They gave up 13 hits to the Padres. The Padres somehow scored 3 runs. If I was a Padres fan, I'd not be all that happy tonight because that thing was, they should have had a lot more than that. But the Astros didn't do anything at the plate. They had 6 hits. You know, Altuve had a couple. Jordan had the RBI single there to get the 1 run across. Kyle Tucker had a hit. Jason Hayward had a hit. Mauricio Dubon had a hit. Then you just look at it. You had big fat offers from Yiner and Bregman, Caratini, Pena, and Singleton and Myers when they when they were in the game as well. They both took offers. Some of those times those nights happen. Thought Yu Darvish was great. He went out tonight, 6 shutout. He really just kind of induced the Astros into outs all night. He only walked a couple, only gave up 3, and the Astros just couldn't do anything against their bullpen. They did get the 1 bit of damage there, but outside of that, you know, not a lot to write home about. I'll give this to San Diego and their fan base. And that franchise has won nothing. Literally nothing. They've spent a ton of money in recent years. They're trying to, make sure that there's a ton of interest in their team because they're the only team left in that market. And they have an unbelievable ballpark. And that atmosphere, a Monday night game with 44,000 people at it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. You could see it. Just also, really cool to see the Astros fans there as well. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because those 2 things were, something that stood out to me tonight. The other thing that stood out, now look, it's not the reason why the Astros lost the baseball game tonight. And it sucked for both sides of it. And the umpiring was bad. But it's not why the Astros lost. And I'm not going to sit here and do 20 minutes talking about the umpires tonight because it's pointless. It's not why you lost. You lost because you didn't hit the baseball. Simple as that. And this team at times can go through these things. Now, look, this is a important series. I talked about it yesterday. The Astros needed to go 9-4 down the stretch to get to 90 wins. So now they have to go 9-3. And if they go 9-3 over the final 12 games, right? Yeah. 13, 12. I'm good at math. Really good at math. If they get to 90 wins, they guarantee that they are AL West champions. The Mariners cannot get to 90 wins. They don't have enough games left, and they'd have to win, like 12 of 13, I think was the number, to get past the Astros at that point. It's a lot. If the Astros were to get, again, it's 11. What time is this? It's 11:35 on a Monday night. I'm going to stop trying to do math in my head and remember what I said yesterday. It's been a long time since then, and I've slept. Mariners do pick up a half game on the Astros tonight. Goes back down to a 4-game lead in the American League West. Of course, the series with them is looming next week at Minute Maid Park. Final 3 games of the season against them. I think 88 wins probably gets you in the postseason here. Probably wins the American League West. Feels dirty. I got to admit. Feels dirty to be a 88-win team and possibly win your division. I don't like it. Take me back to winning 107 games a season. Or 100 games a season, please. That was a lot more fun. Not that this isn't fun, but I'm just being greedy now. I don't like winning mid-80s. They're at 81 now. So, we'll see what they can do. They got to figure it out from tonight. This is an important series because that is a San Diego team that's playing for something. I like to, play spoilers there a little bit. They're in a National League West race that is still not dead at this moment. Dodgers are not playing incredible baseball lately. And San Diego's got a chance. They did win tonight, did the Dodgers, so the Padres didn't pick up any ground. The Dodgers are creeping closer to a NL West title, but San Diego's going to be a wild card team. They're 3 clear in the wild card. They're a really good team. You see it. Whoever faces them in the postseason, I think that there's some serious questions about their pitching still at times. But they can hit the baseball. I think they absolutely hit the baseball. I think they lead baseball in batting average. And there's another category as well, an important offensive category. They can put the ball in play. They can hit it over the fence a little bit. And they weren't even very good tonight when it comes to, again, not scoring runs. The Astros kind of survived to an extent what San Diego did tonight, which was go out there and, get a bunch of hits and not score runs. Astros tonight, by the way, we always love to give these updates on the numbers. 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position and 8 men left on base in the baseball game. So there was that. Typical kind of bad night. Spencer Arrighetti, odd night, I think is the best way to put it. Let's talk about his odd but productive night here in just a second on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Need to tell you right now about FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel on this channel and all of our Locked On channels. Of course, it's America's #1 sports book. We have something different to tell you about this time when it comes to FanDuel, because now the clock's ticking on this. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. Just visit FanDuel.com to download America's #1 sportsbook. Locked On Astros Postcast on a Monday night. Yeah, Monday night after the Astros lost to the Padres. I don't like doing these shows when they lose. I mean, not that I don't like doing the show. I love doing the show no matter what. But I just have more fun when they win. And look, they're coming off of winning 4 in a row. They swept out the Angels over the weekend. It's been a very successful road trip to this point. Now, I'm not going to use the sweep word for the Astros at this point, but come on now. You got to go out and take care of business against this San Diego team. You got to win at least one to have a 4-2 road trip. That would be a success overall. Of course, you don't want to lose 2 of 3. You'd rather win 2 of 3. So go ahead and win the next 2 games. And you know what? Then you're good to go. I want to talk about who needs to pick it up in a minute at the plate based off of results tonight. It's part of the story here in just a minute, which, by the way, tomorrow night, I mentioned that they, can win the next 2 games. Tomorrow night, another 8:40 pitch, so we'll be late again tomorrow night. It'll be Hunter Brown against Michael King for the Padres. And then Wednesday, 5:40 first pitch. So we will be, probably right around 9 o'clock on Wednesday. That'll be nice because this old man over here, right here that you're looking at right now, this is late for me. This is as late as it gets. I am never awake this late. So I have to be. I'd be in bed right now, passed out for about, honestly, we get done with these shows weeknights when they play home games, like what? 9:45, 10, we start the show. I am out within 5 minutes of finishing these shows because that's late already. Yes, I sound very old right now as I'm saying that. That's okay. Hey, by the way, appreciate you guys joining us tonight. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and, like I said, go ahead and hit it, and you can come back and joining us. And by the way, real quick update for the Astros. Ben Gamel, according to Joe Ibotta, is going on the injured list with his left knee contusion. He hit the wall the other day. What is it? And came up hobbling. Didn't look good. Didn't respond how they wanted it to. So his season is done. I'd imagine that Ben Gamel won't be a factor for the postseason either. So Jason Hayward, come on down. See what you got. It is a significant blow. Ben Gamel's been good. He's not unbelievable, but he's been a guy that, at least when he plays, like, he's good to get on base at least once a game, it feels like, for the most part, whether it's a walk or a hit. So that's something you don't love to see. Something you don't love to see at all. See how it affects the Astros. I have to mention, of course, this channel, by the way, the Locked On Sports Houston page. We appreciate you joining us. Hit that subscribe button. We are live for Astros, Rockets, Texans, Cougs. We got it all. Be another busy weekend on this channel this weekend coming up, and I just like to always tease you ahead of time. We got a busy week with the Astros. They play, they play every day this week, right? That shows you how much I hadn't even looked ahead at the schedule this week. I know that they don't have a day. Yeah, they don't have a day off. They're on all week, and we'll be with you all week for these games. This weekend, Saturday, we'll have Cougs in the morning. Well, they'll play in the morning. They play at 11 o'clock. We'll have the Cougs postcast mid-afternoon, and then Saturday night, we will have the Astros postcast. They're taking on the Angels. Then Sunday, it's our first scheduling conflict. Texans play at noon. Astros play at 1. The Texans postcast will go first because that game plays first. Astros I will still do, but it will be probably a little bit after the game ends. 30 minutes to an hour, I'd imagine. If you missed the second regular season version of the Locked On Texans postcast last night, we have Wade Smith, former Texans lineman, now on the channel. Had a really good conversation with him last night about the win over the Bears. Go back and take a listen to that podcast by going and checking out the Locked On Texans postcast, which you can get anywhere that you get your podcast for free, like this show, which is free anywhere that you get your podcast. And you can search Locked On Astros. You'll get this show and the Locked On Astros show, where you can check out Brett and Eric, who do a great job covering your Astros on a daily basis. Go subscribe to their YouTube page as well. Spencer Arrighetti tonight. Weird night, right? I mean, a ton of pitches in the first 2 innings. It was almost 60 in the first 2 innings. It looked like it was going to be bad. He survived giving up 8 hits. He only struck out 3. He did snap Luis Arias's streak of consecutive games at like 140 consecutive straight games without a strikeout. He did strike him out for one of his 3 strikeouts, but we've talked a lot about how you handle rotations come postseason time, and inexperience and workload do matter. They've taken the kid gloves off. I mean, they're not worried about lending innings limitations on Spencer Arrighetti at this point. That's been out the window for a while. It was never going to be a thing for this team. They couldn't afford to do it. Maybe he's getting to the point of the season where he's pitched more than he's ever pitched in his life. Maybe he's getting a little bit tired. And if he is, he's human, right? He's allowed to. Bad start in his last one. This wasn't necessarily good, but I will give him this. On a night where the stuff isn't great, you go out there and battle through it and find a way to only give up. 2 runs in 5 innings. There's something to be said about that. That's when, you feel like guys are taking the next step of their maturation process as pitchers. Because if you go out there and do that, you keep your baseball team in the game and you give them an opportunity to win that game on any given night. And that's his job. And by the letter of the law, that's what he did tonight. He gave them a chance to win. How this shakes out for him come postseason time is always, I think, leaning towards he'll be a guy that gets shoved to the bullpen. Is there a chance he doesn't make the roster? I don't know. Maybe. But at worst, he's going to factor in, maybe even like Blanco does, which I still don't think Blanco. I think Blanco gets the starting position. I really do think we're going to get to the postseason and Verlander's going to get left off the roster. I just believe it. I just have this feeling that that's what we're going to see happen. And again, rightfully so, but based off the performance. But Arrighetti, you can't completely knock him out of contention to be on a roster when it comes to, being in the bullpen at the very least and giving you the ability to have some length in a very important spot in that bullpen as well. So lots to monitor with that. We'll see how it shakes out. But again, not his worst night, not his best night, but found a way to give his team a chance. And that's all you can ask for. The Astros were just outpitched tonight overall compared to the San Diego Padres, who, by the way, got to Taylor Scott. Taylor Scott. I think we're seeing the effects of a guy that's never pitched this much as well either. I really do. The season has caught up to him, and I think you are watching a guy that is probably not going to be overly trusted when it comes to the postseason. You're going to have to use him at some point, but it's just slowly deteriorated this season, and you hate it because he's getting his first real opportunity. He was a great find for the Astros based off the way that he pitched earlier in the year, but it's just kind of getting bad at this point of the season. So we'll see how he finishes the season and if he can change kind of his standing at all based off the way that he's pitched. Let's get to a guy that I would like to get hot in one particular area. It's been a very cold month for this man in one area. I'll tell you who that is and what that is after this here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. Right now, though, I need to tell you about PrizePicks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Very cool thing going on in the month of September. Very cool and easy way to get some W's for you. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you one win on PrizePicks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. It's 4 weeks of free W's. You don't have 4 weeks left, but you got some weeks left that you can get in on. Don't miss out on this deal on PrizePicks because, well, it's gone when September ends. You, of course, want to get in on the PrizePicks action. It's the only real money daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks, you're still alive. Your PrizePicks picks are still live. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Locked On Astros Postcast. For a few more minutes here on a Monday night, thank you for staying up late and joining me, your host, Michael Connor. Again, if you're watching this show live, appreciate that. If you're watching it later on, also appreciate that. If you're listening to it on the podcast or anywhere that you get your podcast for free, appreciate that. You guys are the absolute best. You made this show, this channel be fantastic. Help us on our climb to 2,000 subscribers. We are 40 away from 2,000. It's incredible to me. We started this season. This channel had, I think, one when we did our first show. It was me. I subscribed to this channel. And end of the season's coming up, the end of the Astros season, and we're at almost 2,000. It's not possible without you guys, and it just means the absolute world. The Astros tomorrow, again, we'll do this again tomorrow night, hopefully a little bit earlier. That's me being greedy and being hopeful. At tonight's game, it got slowed down so much early on by Eric Getty throwing a billion pitches in the first couple innings. But then it picked up quite a bit, and then it slowed down at the end. I was a little mad about that. I was like, oh, come on. There's a chance they could finish this, like 11-15, 11-ish. It wasn't too far past that, but, it's closer to 11:30. It was closer to a 3-hour baseball game tonight than it was a 2-hour baseball game. And I always will lean on the side of giving me closer to a 2-hour baseball game. 2 hours, 44 minutes. And I'm telling you again, the atmosphere there for a Monday night, 44,000 people at a game on a Monday night. They don't do that at Minute Maid Park. There's not many stadiums. Baseball in general avoids playing as many games as possible on Mondays because they're the least attended games all year long, especially once school gets back in too. San Diego, though, they show up. I'll give them that. They are absolutely there. And again, credit to you could see it. You could hear it. I think that's been with this Astros run that they've been on for all these years, one of the coolest parts has been that the road stadium is constantly filled with Astros fans all over the place. And they make themselves heard. So I really think that that's awesome, and you guys keep that up that are out there doing that. The Astros need this guy. I just wanted to mention him, and he was one of the guys who took an O for tonight. Can we get some thump out of Yainer Diaz again? Now, he's hitless in his last he's 0 for his last 9, or at least 0 for his last 9 over the last 2 games. He's not been horrible in September. He's hit .298 this month, which is fine. He's just not slugged at all. He's got 17 hits, and 5 of them are for doubles, but he has no home runs. He has not homered. Just going back for Yainer now, he has not homered since the 25th of August. And before that, he went 4 games without homering before he hit 3 homers in 3 games in a row. Now, I know his power's been down this season. It's part of it. And I'm not asking him to go up there and have a 3-home-run game tomorrow, but, I'm just asking for a little thump. Is that wrong of me? Hopefully he figures it out. Tomorrow they'll do this again. Again, it's an 8:41 pitch. Hunter Brown against Michael King. Good pitching matchup. King 12-9 with a 3.06. Hunter Brown 11-8 with a 3.59. Still weird to look at that and to think how awful he was early in the season. That man has got a 3.59 ERA now. But we'll do this show again after the game wraps up tomorrow night. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday night. Go get some rest. talk again late night tomorrow night for the Astros Locked On Astros podcast. Locked On Astros Postcast. I got to go to bed. Talk to you then.